Good morning and welcome to More Power's new control center. No? I'm sure lahat naman kayo nakapunta doon sa old control center natin, di ba? The one in GST, which was just actually a very small room. No? So now, well actually ano lang to, this was, hindi pa siya fully, no? Operational kasi well, ang contact natin with the response teams no, nandun pa sa kabila because of yung radio. No? But anyway, this one now will be the new home no, for our control center. And I just ran through the features and what are the benefits of this. Okay, next. Okay, we're familiar with this na naman, di ba? The power sector. But let me just go through it very quickly. Ang alam naman natin is that the power really emanates or originates from power plants. Like maybe coal plant, diesel, geothermal, solar, wave, whatever. Okay, so you have the power plants and then it has a transformer that actually interfaces with the NGCP transformer para i-step up na yung voltage. No? And the reason why it is being stepped up to 69 kV, sinipa mo yan. It goes up to 69 kV, 138, even 250. Others are even at 500. And in China, they already have 1,000. So, the reason why it is being stepped up, kasi the power has to travel from the source, from the power plant to the consumers. Now, and as we know, the farther the pag-transport ng power, there are systems loss na nangyayari. No? And kailangan kasi volume siya, so that's why the voltage is being stepped up. Then it goes through the NGCP lines, the high voltage lines. And then, pagdating sa atin, magkakaroon ng transformer from to step down. No, yung kay NGCP na high voltage going to our voltage which is at 13.2 no? At 13.2 voltage. So step down naman yan. Okay, and then from the 13.2 it goes through the lines, primary lines, secondary lines, then it goes to the what we call distribution transformers. No, yung mga nakikita nyo nakakabit sa mga poste, no, and then transforms it down to 220. Now, the reason why it's called transformer because it transforms the voltage either from low to high or from high to low. No? And every time there is voltage change no, or transformation, nakakaroon yan siya ng systems loss. No? So, anyway, ito yung in very simplistic manner, that is how the system is. And I'm very happy na tayo dito sa Iloilo, medyo ano na tayo, we are quite educated when it comes to this, no? Because in some areas, no, or I would say in most of the areas, pag nagkakaroon ng brownout, kaagad ang sinisisi ang DU. No, at least dito, alam na natin kung DU ba siya, kung power plant ba siya, kung NGCP ba siya. No? Kaya lang, until now, well, for, I would say, ordinary folks, no? Basta may brownout, si more power ang may problema. No? And that's why, magpapatulong talaga kami sa inyo no? To help educate naman ang customers natin, no? Because hindi naman lahat ng outage ang gagaling sa atin or caused by us. Okay, so the power system is very complex, no? But if to just simplify it, the system actually no, is just to balance what the demand is from the supply. Okay, so ang magdidictate dito actually is the demand, no? And then the supply comes in, and everything in between, NGCP, more, na nasa gitna are actually just to balance the supply and demand. Okay? So, okay, so it does two things. It's either it goes up or goes down. The system operation, no, siya yung, yan yung function ng MGCP. Well, they function as a systems operator ng grid. Dito sa distribution utility tayo yung systems operations. No? It is the view. Okay, so the system operation just needs to balance this demand and supply to ensure a stable system. That one is very important when we say stable system because ang demand ng customers is always stable. Diba? When I say always stable, we want the voltage in our homes, in our offices, in our businesses to be within the 220 volts plus or minus 5% plus the frequency of 60 hertz. No? So yan yung dinidemand natin dito. All customers, well, I would say all, of course some are using 440 volts or whatever that voltage is. No? At the consumer level, that is our demand. Ang problema ngayon is that pagdating dito sa in-between up to power plants, pwedeng pumasok ang instability. Diba? Kasi, pag bumabagyo, ang ating expectation, 220 pa rin. Diba? Hindi naman tayo, pag bagyo, okay lang ako, mag 100 volts ako. Hindi. Diba? We still demand for 220. So, this one is very stable. From that point going here, those are the causes of instability. Pag power plant bumagsak, no? Power lines bumagsak, whatever happens in between, tayo, pagdating dito sa consumers, constant pa rin ang ating demand. That is why the role of the systems operator, in our case, dito sa DU, is really very challenging. And that is the very reason why we have already upgraded, no, and shifted, no, from a quote-unquote manual system to a more automated system. And this is where we are right now, the new control center. Next. Okay. Although ito, dito sa graph, if I just had the time, i-correct ko to. No? Because this one should not be moving. That's constant. It is this that's moving. Okay? So the challenges I was saying is how do you keep it stable? So, the power system is very unpredictable due to a lot of factors involved that affect it. Alam naman natin, power plants would trip. Well, not every now and then. There are possibilities that it could trip unscheduled. No? May mga power lines na nag-out, may mga power lines na puputol, no? May power lines na tinatamaan ng na nagkakaroon ng snake, no? So forth and so on. So that causes instability. But still, pagdating sa customer side, what we're expecting is stable. Okay, so all this can happen in a matter of minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. Okay, so next. Mahirap na dito. So the real time, so there is a need for the real time operations, no, and monitoring system to balance the power system. Alala ko, some of our customers dito, dati ang napapansin pag talagang nagpa-brown out. Ngayon, napapansin na nila pag nagkakaroon ng a little flicker, a little low voltage, napapansin na. No? So, those are the things that are happening within the system that actually nako-correct natin in seconds or in milliseconds. No, that is why hindi nag-outage. No? So, our control system has the first ever centralized SCADA system in Iloilo and Panay. We will get into the meaning of SCADA and what can SCADA do in a while. But the more power control center is capable to operate, monitor on real-time operations not only in Iloilo and Panay, but ito dinagdag. And in other areas that more power will be operating in the future. Dinagdagan nila yan, ha? Oo, pero pumasa na tayo third reading sa Congress kahapon for Central Negros. Ang alam ko, it will be forwarded to the Senate today. No? And, well, baka the earliest hearing can happen within the next 2 weeks. No, I'm just supporting that with this na siningit nila. No, so, hindi ko alam bakit siningit, pero sige na lang. Next. Okay, so what is the SCADA system? The SCADA system will be the key feature of the control system, of the control center, which will bring many benefits to the customers of Iloilo. Next. What is a SCADA system? SCADA system stands for Supervisory, Control, and Data Acquisition Platform. No? Parang ano to, di ba? SCUBA, di ba? SCUBA is a acronym, no? For self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. No? So this one is just a acronym, no, for the Supervisory, Control, and Data Acquisition Platform. Next. Okay. So what does the system do? The SCADA system, no, is a harmony of software, hardware, and artificial intelligence, no, AI, programming that allows the monitoring, control, data recording, and forecasting of the system. So it serves as the brain of the system. No? So, yung sinasabi natin kanina, yung complexity ng supply and demand, no? At the DU level, right now is being processed by real brains. No? Kaya mabagal. No? Pag artificial brains, no? And they can already compute and look at so many data all at the same time. No? The processing is faster. No? And supposedly, since processing is faster, response, no, should be faster. But let's get into the specific benefits. So, how does SCADA will answer the needs of the customers and expectations are the following. One, we have the feature of a remote substation operations. Okay. The control center has the capability to control the circuit breakers, switches of all substations remotely without the need for manual intervention. Which means that, well, I'm sure you were there naman when we inaugurated the Megaworld substation, no? And it is SCADA ready. The substation that we have here also, and this is the substation that was transferred from General Luna. No? Dito natin linagay, no? This one is also SCADA ready. And all the other substations that we will be rehabilitating in the next few years, no, will be SCADA ready, which means that at some point, all of the substations and all of the devices below the substation will now be connected through this brain. No? So, in the latter stages, sectionalizing devices, no, there are devices kasi, and I know you're already familiar with the ACRs, no? Automatic circuit reclosers, no? The LBS, low grade switches, no? So lahat yan actually are also SCADA capable, and they will be connected. So the brain is not only among the substations, it will actually go to the next level, which are the facilities at the feeders. So the result, there should be significant reduction in the time required for switching on feeders from a planned or unplanned shutdown. If you remember, if you would, no? Remember 5 years ago. Do you remember 5 years ago? Sinong boyfriend nyo 5 years ago? Okay. 5 years ago, before we came in, the system was actually what we call Radian. Again, I just review that. Now, Radian was that feeders were just actually straight lines. But when I say straight lines, independent siya, basta siya, nakakabit sa substation. And if you remember, if there would only be one toko, no, in Westwood talaga, ano talaga yan, notorious yan. Every night, may toko talaga dyan. No? Pag tinamaan ng toko yung linya, and that is Mandurriao Feeder 2, lahat ng nakakabit dyan sa Feeder 2, brown out. And that runs 2,000. No? And then, ang nangyayari is that, well, ito, experience na natin when we came in because it was the system that we inherited. Pag may tumawag na sa control center, oy, brown out na naman kami dito. Okay? So, kuha sila, ticket number, yes ma'am, anong number po, anong, ano to, landmark, another tawag, tapos may tatawag. May narinig ako na pumutok dito sa harap ng 7-Eleven na ano to. Oh, sige po ma'am, kunin number. Then ang RT natin doon pupunta kasi hanapin kung nasaan yung fault. So we are not able to, kung after few minutes, ang dami nang nagre-report pero wala pang nagre-report kung saan may pumutok. Lumalabas yung RT natin, ano niya, I mean, they will survey, no, the whole feeder, the whole length of feeder, and find for the possible fault. Ang problema paggabi, di ba? I mean, when your visibility paggabi, especially pag umuulan, ang hirap talaga, even if you already have the searchlight na nakakabit. No? So, those mga ganon will already be eliminated with the new system. No? Because the system itself will be able to, will be able to, well, actually there's an interim. Right now, di ba naglagay na tayo ng ACRs? So ang ACR ngayon, let's say sa Westwood, meron pa rin toko, na hindi pa rin nauubos yung toko. Sa Westwood, meron pa rin. Pero ang automatic circuitry closer that is near, that is serving Westwood, yun siya ang nagdi-detect. Pag may tuko ka, pero nababalik niya. Hindi na umaakyat yung fault to the whole feeder. That is why hindi na by the thousands ang affected by isang tuko. Konti na lang, pero may tuko pa rin. No? I remember when the first few months we were operating, and I would report to the principal, Mr. Rason, sir, out na naman ang feeder, ano to? Sabi niya, anong cost? Toko. In the following night, gano'n na naman. Yung feeder, toko. Ano ba yung Iloilo? Ba't ang kanong toko dyan? Bakit ba, thousands are affected just because of one toko? No? So, syempre, I would explain to him, sir, dyan naman sa Manila, marami ding toko.
Buhaya, sir.
Buhaya. Especially Quezon City sa may congressional na. Okay? Sabi ko dyan, ang dami ding toko. Except that, the system nila is already so robust that the ACRs are there na hindi nararamdaman. So ngayon, I mean, that system that was in Meralco, and actually not only in Meralco, I mean, that should be the standard actually, is what our system here is right now on the interim. And we are actually going a step forward by now having this SCADA system. So the result is a significant reduction in the time required for switching on feeders after planned or unplanned outages. Next. Another feature is automated data recording. So automatic data recording in a substation, there exists tens and thousands of data. Now, and the monitoring is actually done on every millisecond. If tayo yung nag-ano to, I don't think we have the capability to monitor every, all at the same dimension, no? And different dimensions all at the same time. Voltage, frequency, and other factors by the millisecond by mere sitting down. No? So that function is now being done by the SCADA system. So the hundreds of data points that need to be monitored continually. So by automating the data, such as voltage, current, frequency, and power are recorded in millisecond intervals. These hundreds of data can be analyzed and simplified report for the operator. No? So lahat yan, depending on how we would program it, no? Lahat yan, i-consolidate niya and it will come up with one monitoring system for the operators to monitor para tignan kung what's happening within the system. Huh? So, and it is from there na makikita niya normal pa ba ang takbo or abnormal or critical. That's just like if you, well, I'm sure lahat naman tayo nanggaling ng ospital, di ba? Di ba, pag nandun ka sa, sa hospital bed mo, may monitor. Di ba? Yung BP, si Herbert, medyo expert dito. Anong monitor doon, Herbert? The
BP, pulse, sir. Pulse rate.
The pulse rate, no? So, nandiyan yan, in a small monitor, di ba? So, ang nurse, titingin lang, at saka, di ba, that monitoring system actually has an alarm. Di ba? Pag ginutom ka, maka-alarm yun, alam niyo yun? Hindi, pag hindi na. No? If actually the graph goes beyond that range, mag-ano na yun? Mag-alarm siya. So, which means that, there's something wrong. So, pupuntahan mo yung pasyente. So, it's the same principle, no? That those hundreds of data, no, being analyzed, put in a dashboard, and they will now come out in a graph, no, and say if they are normal or not. Because if not, makikita na ng operator na hindi na normal yung takbo. At some point, mag-a-alarm yan. At some point, magkakaroon ng mag-kick in ang what we call the protection system. Okay? Next. So, automated data recording, simplifying the data makes monitoring more efficient. Potential problems can be predicted before they could put the system at risk. No? And this control center is capable of doing that. No? So before mangyari na magkaroon ng risk, no, sa feeder, sa substation, namomonitor na dito at saka will be able to do some preventive actions na. No? And di ba yung nangyari? Okay, next. Okay. So the SCADA system also has instantaneous fault detection. No, yung nangyayari downstream from the substation. So as I was saying kanina, yung ACRs natin, LBS natin are SCADA ready. No, that is why they will also be part of this. So anong mangyayari downstream, madidetect din ng control center. And well, this one is a little, but for now, we could only say that we will try to see if the time reduction for responding, no, and the SIFI-SID, no, so forth and so on, we would actually be improving by more than 90%. No? And I mean, that translates to benefits to consumers. Next. Okay. Dito sa instantaneous fault detection, in the future, another innovation will be introduced which is called the FreeSeer. Fault location, isolation, and service restoration. So, again, intelligent system, siya na yung mag-restore. No? So, no need to send the RT, no, hanapin kung nasaan yung fault, and then at saka malaman, at saka tatawag dito kung anong gagawin, anong i-switch off, anong switch on, so forth and so on. Lahat yan ma-eliminate na with this system in place. Kasi siya na yung ngayon ang magbabalance kung saan niya kukunin, anong i-isolate, and, well, yung sa next, no? Yung sa next, the instantaneous fault detection will also actually be the one which will play a very important role in times of calamities. No, na alam niya kung ano yung mga feeders, ang may ospital, mga critical, what do you call this, critical load centers or critical demand centers, no, na saan ang uunahin nila pag-balance ng ng power, no? So again, since the whole system is already working and communicating, siya na yung magsasabi, pasok ka dito, isolate mo to kasi dyan may ospital, unahin nito. May additional power doon, yan naman dalhin kung kung saan ang PNP, ang ano to. So, lahat yan actually programmable depending on the prioritization, but it will now be executed by the feature of the freezer. Next. And they play 24/7, kaya twin talaga yan sila. No? The helpline is there, the SO, the systems operations is here, or the control center. No? Because the SCADA system, well, as well is integrated with the helpline, automatically inform control with each ticket that needs to be resolved. No? So pagpasok doon, pagtawag ng customer doon, pasok dito, no? And dito ang control center. Right now, as it is, the control center is the one actually sending people to the field. Puntahan mo to, so forth and so on. But again, with an automated system, that can be reduced. Okay? And the calls and complaints are automatically logged by the system, and then, again, masasense niya na, sasabihin niya na, oy, may 5 nang tumawag dito within the last 2 minutes, lahat yan lahat yan attributed to this transformer. No? So kaagad at the monitoring system or at the control center, alam mo na kaagad na, okay, ang may cost is yung DP kasi you're already getting that common. Hindi yung pagdating doon, test ka, pagdating test, uy, ang problema, pala yun. At saka ka naman babalik. Although right now, we're able to already reduce, no, the response time, but this one should make it faster. Next. So, the end result of a faster turnaround time to serve the customer, no, from time reported to the response. No? So again, as I explained earlier, ano na yan, dahil automated, it should come faster. And additionally, the ticket that is automated, it can automatically detect and determine which specific areas, the one that I said, kaya niya nang i-determine, dito maraming tumatawag. No? So, there must be something wrong with the DT, or with the line, or with the feeder, or whatever. No? Next. Predictive maintenance analytics. No? From the data that's coming from different devices, the SCADA system can already determine the health of the equipment. So instead of waiting for the equipment to bust, no? We're able now to do preventive kasi nakikita na. Although right now we're able to do that. We are using just like during the pandemic, yung thermal scanning. No? So we actually do thermal scanning very regularly of the different facilities to see if within, sa atin, periodic, no? Kung tumataas mga temperature, no? That would actually tell us na medyo something is going wrong. Although in this new system, hindi na yung periodic lang, no? Because it is by millisecond that it's being monitored, and there is this trend lining that will happen. So again, instead of just waiting for it to go fast, we're able to do predictive maintenance now. And by that, again, the chances of unplanned outages will be reduced. Next. Optimizing energy sourcing, again, because of the intelligent algorithm. No? This will actually also give information to our energy sourcing. No, of how to source energy more efficiently. No, kasi again, may predictive, you can do predictive, algorithms already, no, and say na pag every 15th and 30th, no, yung ATM ng mga bangko tumataas ang usage. No? Because that's predictive. So the same thing when it comes to load consumption or demand on the demand side. We can now predict, or we can now study if there are uniqueness, no, of certain feeders or certain customers na tumataas or bumababa ang kanilang load given certain trends, and that one will be provided by the data of the SCADA system. Next. So the benefits are reduced turnaround time, reduced instances of unplanned outages, automated restoration of feeders, more efficient handling of customer complaints, down to improved power quality. And Well, with the city now, no? I mean, where it is, grabe na ang, I think, the demand, no? Well, the city is already really, uh, well, ang dami nang talagang nagbe-benchmark dito, no? Maraming businesses na gustong pumasok. For one, yung rates natin now is 9.96 for residential. No? I think that's the lowest in the region or in Visayas, if I'm not mistaken, no? For the last how many months na, no? Na tuloy-tuloy. The ano to, from investors, no? Ang dami nang nagtatanong. So we're really expecting Iloilo to be, to be flying higher pa, no? And with that, we really think that it really has to have this kind of system, no? Hindi na yung manual, hindi na yung conventional type of system. So with that, I would say thank you very much, and alam ko gutom na kayo.